Hi guys, hello, welcome to my channel. I've slowly been kind of like buying books here and there throughout this year so far, so this is our very first collective book haul. I'm so excited. I love doing a book haul, and I'm extra excited for this one because we have books from like all over the place. So it should be a really fun haul, and let's get started with the book that one of you guys got for me. Anytime you guys gift me a book, it is literally the craziest thing to me. It blows my mind every time, and I'm always just super thankful. So thank you to Alyssa for gifting me this book. This is Paper Princess, and I don't remember who it was exactly, but I was watching a video and someone was talking really highly of it, and it just sounded like a lot of fun. From strip clubs and truck stops to southern coastal mansions and prep schools, one girl tries to stay true to herself. These royals will ruin you. Ella Harper is a survivor, a pragmatic optimist. She spent her whole life moving from town to town with her flighty mother, struggling to make ends meet and believing that someday she'll climb out of the gutter. After her mother's death, Ella is truly alone. That is until Callum Royal appears, plucking Ella out of poverty and tossing her into his posh mansion among his 5 sons, who all hate her. Each royal is more magnetic than the last, but none is as captivating as Reed Royal, who is determined to send her back to the slums she came from. This is giving me a little bit of Inheritance Games vibes, with like the random girl being like thrown into a mansion full of men. Boys? I don't know how old these people are. And I really enjoyed that concept in that series, so I'm excited. And I do believe this is the first in a series, if I remember correctly. Again, thank you so much to Alyssa for gifting this to me. Also, the fact that it's February, I might be reading this month. Next up, I'm gonna go through some Barnes & Noble finds. On our first trip, I ended up finding this one book, and this is a mass market book, which is typically a style of book I avoid like the plague. I just really don't like the feel of the size. This particular series is called The Noodle Shop Mysteries. It's only available in mass market size, so we got it because the cover of this book is so adorable. I'm really hoping I like this series because I want to own them all. The cover art on these books are just so cute. It says, "Welcome to Ho Lee Noodle House, where the Chinese food is to die for." It's basically a murder mystery. You're trying to solve the murder of one of the frequent customers that go to this noodle shop. Everyone in the noodle shop knows that he's allergic to shellfish, but he gets some shrimp dumplings delivered to him and obviously eats them, and he dies. So they're trying to figure out who murdered Mr. Fang. Which, by the way, this book is called Death by Dumpling. I never even said the title of the book. And then I also got a cat paw bookmark. Is this not the cutest bookmark you've ever seen? On one side you have the little toe beans, and then on the back side of the paw you actually have the back side of the paw. And I just think this is super cute. This is by Humdrum Paper. One of my goals this year is to open up my own sticker and bookmark kind of shop, because I do like to doodle on occasion, and I have been working on some bookmark designs lately, and they are heavily inspired by the concept of the die cut bookmark. I just think this is so fun. So anyway, here's this one. Super obsessed. Can't wait to use it. How cute is it going to be to have a little cat paw sticking out of my book? And then last but not least, for this first trip to Barnes & Noble, I got a Clueless board game. This is the last thing I ever thought I would purchase at Barnes & Noble, but here we are. I am a 90s kid, so I was definitely obsessed with Clueless and Cher, and yeah, it's a full board game. The little pieces that you move on the board are little cars, and there's tons of different card types. We have Cher's house, the freeway, high school, the Valley Party, the mall, and then Pismo Beach. Also, we have a fluffy pen included, Cher's iconic pen, which is so funny because I really wanted one as a kid, but it wasn't something that was readily available, and I never ended up getting one. But now, as a full-fledged adult, I will be getting a fluffy pen. And then we have our next little trip that we took to Barnes & Noble. And again, I just got one book, but we also did get a bookmark as well. And the book I ended up getting is called Butter by Asako Yuzuki, something like that. And I was definitely drawn into this book by the cover. I just think it looks super cool, and this is definitely outside of my comfort zone. I think it's a literary fiction, but also a murder mystery. The cult Japanese bestseller about a female gourmet cook and serial killer, and the journalist intent on cracking her case, inspired by a true story. Okay, I did not realize that. So now I'm even more intrigued. And then also, to go along with this book, I could not resist, because my store had a setup where it had a bunch of other butter things, and I couldn't resist getting the butter stick bookmark. And this is also from that same Humdrum Paper company, and yeah, it's just in the shape of a stick of butter, and I'm obsessed. I was gonna get the post-it notes as well because I thought the whole little setup of that was super cute, but then Kevin did point out that once I take the butter wrapping off of it, it's just gonna be yellow sticky notes, you know? But we did get the butter bookmark to read butter. I'm so excited. So those are all of the books that I got at Barnes & Noble. Now let's grab one of these bags. This first one is from Meijer, which is the grocery store that I go to. And I got this literally the last time I was at the grocery store. And I got so excited to find this in my store because not only was it $1 cheaper than it is on Amazon, which I know it's just $1, but like $1 is $1, especially nowadays. But then also just the fact that this book is one that I have on my Kindle Unlimited list, and a lot of the books on that specific list you don't typically see in stores, especially a random grocery store. This is Holding the Reins by Paisley Hope. I have one other book by this author. It's got a totally different vibe. It's called Wolfie, but I was drawn to both of these books because of the covers, as different as they are. And it's kind of funny because I posted a poll recently asking you guys to help me pick out a book, a Kindle Unlimited specific book for my upcoming 24 hours of reading nothing but cowboy romances, and this was one of the options, and I now have it in person. In this steamy cowboy romance, the first novel in the Silver Pines series, a woman returns to her family's ranch after a broken engagement and finds herself falling for her brother's best friend. So this is a brother's best friend trope, which I don't think I've really read a whole lot of. My siblings are a lot younger than me, so that is definitely not something I've ever experienced, but I have definitely had like crushes on like my cousin's friends back in the day when I was a kid, so I think this will be fun. Next up, we're gonna do this one because it is literally the only Amazon book that I have, which is kind of crazy. Normally when I do these unboxings, like the majority of the books are Amazon, but we're branching out, people. And this is the most recent book that I've purchased. I'm so excited about this book and just like this series in general because this is the first book in a series. So this is The Dragon's Bride by Katie Robert. I've read a ton of books by this author. She does write erotica, and this series in particular really drew my attention because of the covers, like every other book that I freaking purchase. Every book in the series all kind of have the vibe of like a classic romance cover, but instead of having like the guy with the long hair, you have monsters. And I do plan on getting the entire series. I definitely want to like showcase at least one of these on my shelves. This is just hilarious to me. So this one says, Briar Rose, which I love that name, might have a name out of a storybook, but she learned at a very young age that no prince was coming to save her. She'll have to save herself. Unfortunately, even that is an impossible task in her current situation, trapped in a terrifying marriage to a dangerous man. Desperate times call for desperate measures, which is how she finds herself making a deal with a demon, freedom from her husband in return for 7 years of service. She expects the service to be backbreaking and harsh. She doesn't expect to be put on an auction block in a room full of literal monsters and sold to the highest bidder to Soul, a dragon. I'm definitely gonna be reading this one as well because this will be a quick little like palette cleanser, I feel like, in between other books. So our second bag is from Target, and I got these couple of books when Onyx Storm was released, one of them being Onyx Storm. I was one of those people that set an alarm and was up at 3 a.m. frantically clicking on my computer screen for like 20 minutes before I was finally able to purchase this book. And when I did pick this up from the store, I looked at the books and I picked up another one, so we'll show you that one in a second. But here is our Target exclusive edition of Onyx Storm. I specifically got the Target edition, not for the sprayed edges because I actually think the sprayed edges of the other edition is better. I got it specifically because of this little foil dragon on the hardcover. Is this not so cute? And it also does come with like a little ribbon as like a bookmark, which I think is kind of cool. And then the other book that I got at Target, I'm also very, very excited for. It's another really, really pretty special edition book, not exclusive to Target, but just in general special edition. And it is North is the Night by Emily Rath. And I've showed this book in like a releases video a few months ago, I feel like. And I thought it would be like a fun, not like Christmas read, but just kind of like winter read. And it is still technically winter. Like there's literally snow still on the ground outside, but I had kind of like moved on from the winter releases after Christmas. But then I saw this book in person and I could not leave it in the store. So first off, the cover is really pretty, but it has really, really cool sprayed edges. But like I mentioned with Onyx Storm, the foiling on this hardcover is insane. Oh, also it has really pretty end papers as well. Anyway, the hardcover itself is obviously blue, but it has lighter blue foiling of like an entire winter scene. And it's not only on the front, it's also on the back. I feel like usually when you see foiling, especially when it's a lot like this, it's only on the front. You hardly ever see foiling on the back. Like, look at how pretty that is. And the end papers on the back are different from the front. These are the kinds of like things I love in a book. This does have like an element of Finnish folklore to it, which I think is really cool. When a death goddess attacks their village, best friends Siri and Aina, I don't know if I said either of those names correctly, prove helpless to stop from dragging Aina into Tuonela, the mythical underworld. So basically we have two best friends, their village gets attacked, and one of them gets dragged into the mythical underworld. And I'm assuming the other one goes on an adventure to save her. So I think that's so cute. Ooh, okay. This just gets better and better. There's an alternative cover on the inside as well. I don't think I've ever seen that outside of like a subscription box. I'm excited about this book. Will I be reading it anytime soon? Probably not, just because it does very much give me winter vibes and I'm ready to move on. We've got the month of love this month, and then next month spring is starting, so I probably won't read this until like the end of the year, but I'm excited to have it for when that time comes. Next up, I have a package from World of Books, which I think is like a collection of new and used books. Like you can sell your books on there. And the 3 that I got are all used books. I did technically order 4, but I got a random refund for $3. And it didn't say why I got refunded the $3, but only 3 books ever showed up. So I'm assuming it was because maybe that other one became unavailable or something. I don't know. Either way, I got 3 different books, literally, you guys, for $8, I think it was. If you have not checked out World of Books, do so. The only thing that I have to say that I'm kind of like disappointed in is all of the books that I purchased are supposed to be in like really good condition. And for me personally, I feel like the condition of the books that I got are not quite very good. So that might be something to kind of like keep in mind, but also each of these books were like $2 to $3. So can I really complain? Not really. First book that I got is Joyland by Stephen King. And this book originally grabbed my attention like months ago because of the cover. There's a hardcover edition of this in Barnes & Noble, and that's what I thought I was getting. I did not realize I was getting a mass market version, so I still think I'm going to end up buying the hardcover version of this, and I'll probably end up donating this, to be honest. But maybe this will give me a chance to kind of like read it a little bit first to make sure I actually like it before I spend the money on the other ones. It says it's a hard case crime, so I'm assuming this is gonna be like a murder mystery kind of a thing. College student Devin Jones took the summer job at Joyland hoping to forget the girl who broke his heart, but he wound up facing something far more terrible: the legacy of a vicious murder, the fate of a dying child, and dark truths about life and what comes after that would change his world forever. And that is literally all it says. So I have no idea what this is about. Aside from like a kid, it looks like he maybe got a job at a carnival based off of, you know, the cover art, and there's a murderer involved. So we'll see how this one goes. And then next up we have a book that I'm actually so excited for, especially because I did get it for like $3. We have The Ex-Hex. I have been wanting to read this for the past like 2-3 years maybe. I've been kind of like waiting for it to go down in price, but it just never seems to do that. And every October I'm like so tempted to get it and I just never do. So I'm really excited to finally have it. The only thing I'm annoyed about is the fact that it was supposed to be in like really good condition, and it's got like, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see, but it's got like a big old crease down the front, and kind of like the edges are like really worn on the book, and that's kind of annoying because it's not in the condition that I was expecting it to be in. But again, for $3, I don't know that I can really complain. So I'm excited to have this. We will be reading this October. And then last but not least, for World of Books, we have a book that I have literally never seen before. It just kind of caught my eye because of the cover, and it looked very like appropriate for Valentine's Day. So I figured it could be a fun read for this month, but it's called Playing with Matches by Hannah Orenstein. And yeah, you've got a little matchstick book with a bunch of little men matches, and I just thought that was really cute. And just generally, this is about a matchmaker, which that whole concept is very intriguing to me. Sasha Goldberg has a lot going for her: a journalism degree from NYU, an apartment with her best friend Caroline, and a relationship that would be amazing if her fiance boyfriend Jonathan would ever look up from his phone. But when her dream career falls through, she uses her family's darkest secret to land a job as a matchmaker for New York City's elite. And then it looks like she's gonna have like a thing with one of her matchmaker clients. So I'm intrigued. I think that sounds like it's gonna be really fun. Next up, we have a couple of books from Blackwells, one of which I have already opened because I put it on my TBR cart, and we did actually pick it for TBR for February, so I will be reading this month. And this one is called Sugar Baby by Celine St. Clair, and this one is basically about someone that becomes a sugar baby, which I am so intrigued by. The reason I got this book is because the cover just looked really pretty and cute. I'm excited for this one, and I'm not gonna like talk any more about that one because I talked more about it in my TBR jar video, and I don't want to be repetitive. Okay, these things never rip nicely. Okay, that was kind of nice. I'm so excited. This is a chunky book. We have Hexed by Emily McIntyre. This is the 6th and final book in the Never After series. If you're not familiar with them, they're basically like dark romances that are loosely inspired by Disney movies. That being said, they are not fantasy books. They're more so like modern mafia romances. And this one, you might be able to guess from the seashell on the front cover. This one is inspired by one of my favorite Disney movies, The Little Mermaid. And I am so freaking excited. One of the reasons I do really love this series is because they are inspired by Disney movies. So you get a lot of like nods to the movies, but also because they are dark romances, the author uses the villain as the love interest from those movies, not the hero. Also, these are spicy. I'm super excited about this one. And now, I don't even remember what this is from. Oh, this is also from Amazon. So I lied. I do have one more book from Amazon. This one does not even have a helpful tab. So I'm just gonna have to like rip into it. I feel like I ordered this one recently, but I don't remember what it is. Oh yeah, duh. This one I actually ordered because of my TBR jar video. I don't remember what the prompt was, and if you're curious, go watch that video. But one of the prompts led me to getting Water Moon, which is one of my most highly anticipated books for this year, almost purely because of this cover. If I'm being really honest with myself, I don't know if I'm actually gonna get to it because I have so many plans this month for reading, but I would like to read this one very soon, regardless of whether it's this month or next month. This just sounds so good, and we'll get to what it's about in a minute, but I wanted to quickly show you the cover of this book. So we have this cover, which is really pretty, but also you have this cover. The actual hardcover is printed as well, and it looks so pretty. We have this little like night water scene, and the back of it is kind of, I think, a continuation. Yeah, a continuation of that picture, which is super cool. And then we also have really cute end papers. And within the end papers, you might notice some instructions. And those are basically so that you can fold the inside of the dust jacket to become a little like origami boat that they show on the front cover. Once you fold it up, like the characters are on the boat and stuff like that, and it's so freaking cute. That being said though, I personally will not be doing that because I just love the design of the dust jacket too much to fold it up. But I love the fact that that's even a thing that you can do. I just think it's really fun. On a back street in Tokyo lies a pawn shop, but not everyone can find it. Most will see a cozy ramen restaurant, and only the chosen ones, those who are lost, will find a place to pawn their life choices and deepest regrets. And the concept of that is so intriguing to me. Like the fact that you can go to this little magical pawn shop and pawn your regrets. Sign me up. And now, last but certainly not least, we have a big ol' box from, I can never remember what this place is called, Book Outlet. I purchased a bunch of books from them a couple of months ago, and I got a coupon in that order that gave me like $10 off my first order in the new year. So we bought a bunch more books. I'm already so excited. I placed this order kind of a while ago and I totally forgot what was in here, but I'm getting like a little glimpse at a couple of the books, one of which I've been kind of wanting for quite some time now, so I'm so excited. The first book that we have is The Age of Magical Overthinking by Amanda Montell, and it is a nonfiction book from the best-selling author of Cultish, which is actually another book by this author that I really want. It's again another nonfiction about cults, like the thought process and stuff behind a cult, I think, or something like that. From the best-selling author of Cultish, a delicious blend of cultural criticism and personal narrative that explores our cognitive biases, from the IKEA effect to the sunk cost fallacy. I don't know what any of that means. Magical thinking can be broadly defined as the belief that one's internal thoughts can affect unrelated events in the external world. Think of the conviction that one can manifest their way out of poverty, stave off cancer with positive vibes, thwart the apocalypse by learning to can their own peaches. In The Age of Magical Overthinking, Montell argues that in the modern information age, our brain's coping mechanisms have been overloaded and our irrationality is dialed up to an 11. So honestly, I don't know exactly what this is about, but I'm intrigued. I'm interested. Ooh, okay. Next up we have Good Rich People. This is a thriller. I had this on my wish list for like 2 years, and I'm very excited to finally get it in my hands. A destitute woman deceives her way into the guest house of a Hollywood Hills mansion and inadvertently becomes a target in the twisted game of the wealthy family upstairs. Lila has always believed that life is a game she is destined to win, but her husband, Graham, takes the game to a dangerous level. The wealthy couple invites self-made success stories to live in their guest house and then conspires to ruin their lives. And then we have Demi, who is the person that deceives her way into the mansion. In a twist that neither woman sees coming, the game quickly develops into chaos and rockets toward an explosive conclusion, because every good rich person knows in money and in life it's winner takes all, even if you have to leave a few bodies behind. So I think this one's kind of more of like a psychological thriller, which I don't know that I've really read that many of those, so I'm intrigued. I'm excited for that. I need to stop saying I'm excited because I feel like I've said that after every single book. These two books are the second and third book in a series. It's basically the That Time I Got Drunk ... series. I don't know what it's actually called, but I got the first book for Christmas from my sister and I have not read that book yet, but I'm so sure that I'm gonna like it that I got these two books as well. But we have That Time I Got Drunk and Yeeted a Loaf Potion at a Werewolf. And then we have That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Human. The titles and the cover art for these are just super fun, and I'm looking forward to these quite a bit. Also, by the way, the author of these ones is Kimberly Lemming. I feel like I've not said the author for like half of these books. But the next book that we have is Queen of Hearts by Colleen Oakes. And here is the book. I've had this sitting in my Amazon cart. I keep like putting it in my cart and taking it out for the past like 3 months. So when I saw it on Book Outlet for like half the price that Amazon had it, I could not resist. This is not the story of Wonderland, we know. Alice has not fallen down a rabbit hole. This is a Wonderland where beneath each smile lies a secret. Each tart comes with a demand, and only prisoners tell the truth. Dinah is the princess who will one day reign over Wonderland. She has not yet seen the dark depths of her kingdom. She longs only for her father's approval and a future with the boy she loves. But when a betrayal breaks her heart and threatens her throne, she is launched into Wonderland's dangerous political game. Dinah must stay one step ahead of her cunning enemies or she'll lose not just the crown, but her head. I think this sounds fun, and I do think this is a part of a series. I could be wrong. And we've got 2 more books. Second to last we have is Careering by Daisy. I don't know how to say that last name, but it's right here. This one I have actually also had on my Amazon list for quite some time. This one is basically about a writer for a magazine, which when I was younger, I was obsessed, like in my teenage years, I was obsessed with magazines, and I always thought like working for a magazine was like the dream job. It kind of gives me like Andy from Devil Wears Prada vibes, and I think that's really all I want to say about this one. It just sounds fun. And then last but certainly not least, we have Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. Since it's came out, I've wanted to get this book, specifically because I want to try reading Brandon Sanderson, and I do have Mistborn, but this is kind of a standalone from him, and I do feel like I saw somewhere where he said if you're kind of like wanting an intro to his books, this might be a good one. Also, the end papers in this book are so pretty, and I think I can guess why this might have been on Book Outlet. The end papers are like printed or like stuck on crooked. Sanderson brings us deeper into the Cosmere universe with a rollicking, riveting tale that will appeal to fans of The Princess Bride. So the Cosmere universe is like what Mistborn is part of, I'm pretty sure. So maybe this is not standalone. The only life Tress has known on her island home in an emerald green ocean has been a simple one, with the simple pleasures of collecting cups brought by sailors from faraway lands and listening to stories told by her friend Charlie. But when his father takes him on a voyage to find a bride and disaster strikes, Tess must stow away on a ship and seek the sorceress of the deadly midnight sea. Amid the spore oceans where pirates abound, can Tess leave her simple life behind and make her own place sailing a sea where a single drop of water can mean instant death? What? Why would a single drop of water mean instant death? Okay. There's a note on the back of this book from the author, and it says, "Dear reader, I started writing this in secret as a novel just for my wife." How sweet is that? She urged me to share it with the world, and alongside 3 other secret novels, with the support of readers worldwide, it grew into the biggest Kickstarter campaign of all time. I'm excited to present this first book to you at last, a different type of Brandon Sanderson story, one I wrote when there were no time constraints, no expectations, and no limits on imagination. That totally makes this even better. And with that, those are all of the books that I have that I've purchased recently. If any of these books caught your eye, let me know in the comments down below. And if you've read any of them, let me know as well, and kind of like tell me what you thought, without spoilers, obviously. But a couple of them I feel like I'll probably end up reading sooner than later is obviously this one and Watermoon, because they're literally on my TBR this month. This one might be read. Like I said, I do definitely want to read the first book in this series at least, like probably this month, because I'm super excited about that. Ooh, and Hexed. Hexed is another one that I want to get to sooner than later as well. That's like the hardest part about reading and like collecting books and stuff. It's so hard to like pick and choose which ones you want to read first. And with that, that is everything that I have for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you have had the most amazing of days, and I will hopefully see you in my next one. Bye!